Hi everyone, and welcome to the next foul-mouth pinball tutorial. I'm Dennis B, and today we are going to talk about Whitewater. So Whitewater is the coming out in the next Williams Pinball Pack for the AtGames 4KP. So probably by the time you're watching this video, it will either about to be coming out or have come out. But this one here is one of my favorite tables out of the pack. I really enjoy playing it on Pinball FX and Zen Pinball World. So because the game's not out yet, we're doing this tutorial through Steam on Pinball FX. I could even actually fire up Pinball FX 3 and take a look at that as well. But wanted to, again, go through this tutorial so you guys can know what the fuck you're doing when the table launches. So let's jump into it. I'm going to first start with just a walkthrough of the table and the various ramps and shots. As you can see, it's I don't know if you kind of consider this a fan layout, but it's pretty, you know, you've got all your kind of ramps and orbits just kind of spread out, you know, across the top of the play field here. So starting over with this ramp over here, this is what's called the boulder garden. And this is essentially your orbit. So ball shoots up here, comes all the way around, and then comes out this boulder garden. And then there's bumpers out here that can kind of, you know, bounce the ball around before it comes out here or potentially down your out lanes, okay? So that's the boulder garden shot. This one here is called the spine chiller. So this one here is a ramp that feeds up here and feeds the ball down to your upper right flipper here for your crossing shot. So this is a very important shot to learn, to kind of get it up here. It does come up really, really fast, so you got to kind of work out that timing. Okay. Next one here is the no way out ramp, and this is also where you lock your balls. So as you can see, there's two green spot targets right there. You light both of those and you can lock your ball up here. When the lock is not active, this is actually another great way to feed the upper flipper here, because you shoot the ball up here, it gets trapped, it gets ejected out this hole and rolls down nice and slow for your crossing shot. So again, these two ramps, very, very important here. Next one here, disaster drop. So this one here, again, it's a good shot because it can kind of award you, you know, various things if you hit it enough times. But the reason why it's called disaster drop. If you don't shoot it hard enough, it goes halfway up. And a lot of times this is, again, a really narrow shot. So if you were kind of glancing off the side here, kind of glancing off the side on this side, it is not going up that ramp. And guess what happens? Slows down, kind of goes halfway up, right fucking back down the middle, and there's nothing you can do about it but watch it and say goodbye. Wave to your ball as it passes right down. Nothing you can do about it. You can't nudge it. You can't slap save. Nothing. It's gone. So yeah, that's its name is appropriate. Complete fucking disaster drop is what I'm gonna call it. On top of that, if you do hit the shot clean, this motherfucker boomerangs right back around and comes down this ramp at speed. And so it again puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage, because you're then trying to control the ball with either a dead flip or try to, you know, well, you can't catch it. You're never going to be able to catch it. So you're just trying to, like, you know, save your life here when it comes shooting back around. So a shot to be careful of for sure. Okay, and the last one here is called Boomerang Bend, and that's this one right here. So this is, again, the other side of the orbit, and once again, comes out this lane. So you shoot it up here, comes through here. If you can get it clean through these bumpers, it'll come back around. Same thing. Fast, puts you at a disadvantage. All of the kind of things that I've looked at online, research I've done, a lot of people just do not recommend. Like, avoid this shot whenever you can, because number one, because of that fast kind of turnaround, and then also if you miss it, you're bouncing in the you know, in the pop bumpers, and you're coming right down to center drains, and you can even drain to the out lane. So very, very tough, very, very dangerous shot. Not something that you probably want to do with intentionally or do directly. So then it brings us to the upper playfield here. So this is the upper playfield. This is Bigfoot. Actually, I'm going to put the visual extras back on here. So this is Bigfoot here, or as I like to call him, Aunt Bunny. So yeah, Goonie Goo Goo, Aunt Bunny up there. Not everyone's going to understand that reference, but if you do, hopefully you're laughing your balls off right now. So Aunt Bunny is essentially a diverter up here. So when you kind of shoot the ball up this spine chiller ramp, actually, I'm sorry, when you shoot this first ramp here, which is called Bigfoot Bluff, he will redirect it, and most of the time he redirects it down to this whirlpool down here. And then during a special mode, during the hot foot mode, he will actually direct it down here through Bigfoot's cave, where you can actually then do a repeat shot. We'll get to that a little bit later, but essentially he kind of works as a bit of a diverter of the ball. But for the most part, he's just diverting it to the whirlpool here, and that's the most important thing. But up here on the upper playfield, as you can see, there are 2 ramps, 2 shots. This shot here is called Insanity Falls. This is a very, very, very important one here. So this is where your skill shot is, and this is where you get your jackpots on your multi-ball. So this is a super, super important shot. And if you look at it, you shoot it up here, it's a ramp that comes all the way down, and it's hard to tell because of the 3D, kind of view of it, but this is a ramp that goes up and down, up and down. And actually in the real pinball machine, it's really cool. So when it goes up and down, I think when it hits this 3rd bump, it actually kicks up and the ball will actually hit the glass of the actual real, pinball machine, which is pretty cool. It's a bit jarring to hear it, but very, very cool thing in the real pinball machine. It doesn't do it here for the Pinball FX version, obviously. Okay, so that you have that shot, and then of course you have, as we mentioned, the Bigfoot shot, which again directs the ball to the whirlpool there. So we'll talk more about the strategies on this, but essentially, if you see it right now, the way that it's set up is you've got 2 lights here. When this one is lit, this is the one you want to hit. And then when you hit this one, it then lights the next one, and then you want to hit that one. So essentially, the most important thing to know, hit the one that's fucking lit up. Not that hard, okay? Just like on any pinball machine, right? Shoot for the lit shit. Okay, anyway, a couple other things of note. River. This here advances your river class. You can also spot your river letters using these in lanes when this thing is lit. So if you hit your flippers, you can see that it moves and changes that. So this is a very important shot. We'll talk more about it in a bit, but you want to make sure you're paying attention and lighting these river letters. That advances your river class, which then increases your end of ball bonus and your hazard bonuses. Like I said, we'll get into that in a bit, okay? Your lock targets we already talked about. You want to make sure you hit those. This one here, there's 3 spot targets here. That lights your bounce back. That's here. So bounce back is essentially just ball save or kickback. The ball comes down here, kicks it right back out. When you use that and it goes unlit, you just hit these targets to relight it. Okay. This shot here is a Bigfoot hot foot. So this starts kind of a little bit of a mini mode where if you shoot the ball up here, we talked about, and then you can kind of shoot this ramp. It'll, again, award you points, and it'll divert down here, and then you can make the shot up again and try to do it again. So it's basically kind of a hurry up mini mode there, the Bigfoot hot foot. Rollovers in and out lanes, again, something you want to keep in mind is just keep an eye on what you've got lit and hit your flipper button to adjust it. The one thing that's interesting is no matter what flipper button you hit, left or right, the light always goes from left to right. It doesn't go forward or backwards. So just keep that in mind when you're cycling through. If you're cycling through and you're trying to get to this light and you miss it, you got to go all the way through. You can't just go in the other direction. It's a little bit frustrating, but yeah, it just is what it is on the game. Lost Mine is right here. This is the Lost Mine where you can shoot it in there for, again, starts a gold mine mode, but also this is your ball eject. You want to be careful with this one here. Excuse me. RTX mentioned in his pinball post the other night, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. It's like this in the real pinball machine as well. The fucking ball ejects from here at 100 miles an hour at a very unpredictable kind of way. It fires off this flipper, And depending on the ball physics of where you're playing it, it can do many, many different things. I've played this on FX3, FX, and Zen Pinball World, and the ball has reacted differently with every single one. Sometimes you can have this flipper up, and it will come down and just softly roll up and roll back. Sometimes you leave it down and do a dead flip, and it comes over here nicely. Sometimes you leave it down, do a dead flip, it bounces up here, hits the top of this, and then just goes right down the middle. Sometimes you keep the flipper up. Sorry about that. Sometimes you keep the flipper up, and it will bounce, roll up here, and then literally roll right out the out lane. Sometimes if you try to smack it, you'll just kind of direct off the slingshots. What we have to do essentially is when the game launches on 4KP, I'd love to see what the physics are, and that would kind of determine then, okay, what is the safest play? Is it a dead flip? Is it a capture? Is it trying to smack it out? It could be many different options here to try to figure out how to keep from just losing the ball on this eject hole. This eject hole again happens every time you get the ball in the whirlpool, so this is gonna come up a lot. So to be determined. Right now, I think my safest play for most games is just keep the flipper up. It'll hit, it'll roll up, and then there's a strategy we'll talk about later. But if you can actually get that lit, and you can pay attention really quickly and get that light lit, the ball will come down, roll up. You'll get one letter for up and another letter for down. So as long as it's not doing the rollover, it actually could be pretty lucrative to just do the up flipper. But more on that in a bit. And the last thing I wanted to talk about too, the other thing that's a real just pain in the ass, sons of bitches, the way that they design this table. Your lit extra ball is right here, okay? I've seen, video of like people that are really good at pinball, try to hit this shot. Everyone acknowledges this is like super, super dangerous extra ball shot because essentially you hit it, you can go this way and drain, you hit it, it comes right back down and drains. Like you're probably going to drain trying to hit that shot 75% of the time, which completely defeats the purpose of the extra ball, right? It's, oh, I got the extra ball. Oh, I lost the extra ball. So I get it, extra ball, maybe it's supposed to be dangerous, but man, the designers of this, fuck you for that one. Okay. So, what is the purpose of the game? What are the main objectives and goals? Well, really the main objective is what's lit up right here in the middle. What you want to try to do is advance all of these rafts, okay? And how do you advance the rafts? You hit those orange blinking, what they call hazard shots, right? So what you want to do is hit those hazard targets, slowly work your way up the river and reach this destination right here, Wet Willie's. Yes, his fucking name is Wet Willie. Keep him away from your kids. Anyway, you reach Wet Willie's, and hey, take it easy with that dog, buddy. So Wet Willie, you make it all the way up here, and Wet Willie is essentially what I would call almost like a mini wizard mode. There's kind of two stages to it, and then you can kind of accumulate a significant number of points. So essentially, what you want to do then is reach when you make your way up to the 16. Well, not 16. It's number 16 raft. Okay, the rafts are actually numbered by twos. We'll get into why in a little bit, but it's a little bit strange. But essentially, after you get up to Wet Willie's, then you actually have to complete all of the hazard targets again, and that then starts the Wet Willie mode. And then in the Wet Willie mode, there's two different stages of it. First stage is all 7 hazard targets are going to get lit, and all 7 hazard targets are basically all 7 of the ramps and orbits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which one did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I missed it. So it's 5 down here and then the 2 up here. So after you hit all 7 of the shots, those 7 are actually worth 10 million each. That then progresses you to stage 2 of Wet Willies, and that stage 2 will be called what they call the traveling hazard. So what it does is the hazard will then cycle through each one of these lanes for 3 seconds, and all you have to do is hit it once. If you can get that lane, so let's say for example it cycles through, it gets to this lane, you drill it, boom, you've completed it. You've actually completed the Wet Willy little wizard mode, and that is 100 million points, which is pretty significant for this game. So one thing to kind of note that's pretty interesting is, like, when you start stage 1 of Willies and you're trying to hit all 7 of the hazards, if you drain during that stage, it actually picks up right in the middle of the stage, so it doesn't end there. So you can actually get keep going if you drain. Unfortunately, after you complete this and you get to stage 2 and you get that traveling, if you drain during the traveling one, it's over, you lose it, and then it starts back. So, but for argument's sake, let's say you do complete it, great, you win the wizard mode, you get that, what did I say, it was 100 million points, and then essentially everything resets and you end up back at number 2, and then you do it all again. So that's what I'm calling kind of like the mini wizard mode. The real big wizard mode is the vacation bonus. So the vacation bonus is essentially and you'll see it on the DMD. It comes up from time to time, and if you actually hold the buttons down, unfortunately I don't have enough hands to hold it down, but essentially what you have to do is you have to complete pretty much everything on the play field. So there are essentially 4 main things that you need to do, okay? River class is the first one. So essentially, river class, there are 6 classes of river, okay? And they're actually indicated here on the board. So you have to reach level 6, which means you have to complete RIVER 6 different times on a single ball to complete that 6th river class mode. So that, obviously, in my mind, the hardest thing to do. Get all 5 of those letters 6 times on a single ball. If you drain when you're on 4, it restarts over again. That kind of sucks. But the good thing with the vacation planner, though, is if you do it all in a single ball and you get to river 6, even if you drain after you reach the 6th class, it does keep it for the vacation mode. So that's good. The next thing that you need to do is reach Wet Willy. So we talked about that. If you go all the way up and you reach Wet Willy, boom, that checks off that part of the wizard mode. And you don't need to complete or beat Wet Willies, you just need to get there. So as long as you get there, you're good, okay? Next one here. Within the Boulder Garden, there are 6 individual whirlpool rewards. So basically, every time you light the whirlpool light, you hit this shot, it comes down to the whirlpool. There are 6 different awards down here, okay? You have to complete all 6 of them. So we'll talk more in detail about what they are, but right now you need to complete all 6 to get the vacation planner. And then the last thing you need to do is, after you do those 3 things, you then need to complete the ball lock. So essentially, if you're working your way through and you complete the river, while you're doing it, you do Wet Willies and you complete all these. So when you do all of those things and you got all those checked off on the vacation planner, then you want to go for your locking your balls. As soon as you lock the 3rd ball, again, I haven't done it, but apparently the whole machine goes ape shit and it starts your bonus mode. And so ultimately what you do is you get, by getting to the vacation planner, completing the vacation planner, you get 200 million points to start, and then it starts the 3-ball multi-ball with the jackpot value, and the jackpot again is hitting this ramp here, but the jackpot starts at 30 million as a base value, and then you have all your multipliers on top of that. So super, super lucrative if you can get to that. 200 million points plus 30 million for every jackpot. Okay, so those are the two main kind of modes that you want to work towards on this machine. So getting into the next part, you know, a deeper look at the machine. So let's start with looking at advancing the rafts. So as we talked about, these rafts are numbered by twos, which at first seems a little bit weird, but there's a reason for that. But first, let's talk about how to advance your raft. So essentially what you do is you have to hit these orange hazard lights, okay? Starting at number 2, all you need to do, and you see there's only one lit right now, all I have to do is hit that 1. As soon as I hit that 1, it's going to advance from number 2 to number 4. When you get to number 4, 2 of them are going to be lit up, and then I need to hit 2 of them, then 2 is going to go to, then it's going to go from 4 to 6, and then I believe from 4 to 6, I think it's 2 again. My understanding is that it's going to be 2, then you need to hit 3, and then you need to hit 3 again, and then you need to hit 4, and 4 again, and then 5, and 5 again at Willie's. So essentially the number of hazards that you need to hit goes up with every time up the every ramp or every raft, sorry, that you advance. Okay, so when you get to Wet Willie's kind of counts as a raft itself. So when you get here, you actually have to hit another 5 are going to be lit up. Then that's what starts the Wet Willie mode and get into the stages. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is just getting there doesn't start Wet Willie mode. You actually have to get to Wet Willie's, complete another set of hazards, then you start the stage 1, where you have to then complete 7 more hazards. Okay, let's see, next on this one here, as we talked about, there's 7 possible hazards. The thing that's interesting about this too is, like, every time you start a game, for each raft mode, the hazard is randomized. So, you know, this game I just started up, it's here. I could start it up again, it'll be this one. It could be this one. It's different every time. So that's kind of good. It breaks up the monotony, so because you're not like, okay, I gotta start with this shot, and then this shot, then this shot. You can't really plan it out that way. It's gonna be randomized. So that's good. And that applies to every single one down the thing. You know, it could be, you know, as you get down to 16, it's going to be 5, and it could be random. It could be 1 up here, and then the rest of them down here. You know, it's just different every single time. That keeps the game fresh, in my opinion, so I do like that. But makes it a little bit fucking harder. Sorry. Okay, let's see. So scoring on this one is pretty interesting. So basically, what you get when you advance the raft is you get 1,000,000 points times the raft number that you actually are advancing to. So, for example, I'm on raft 2 right now. If I were to start the game and hit that shot, I'm going to get 1,000,000 times 4 the raft that I'm going to. So basically 4 million for that shot, okay? When you're on 4 and you're going to 6, it's going to be 6 million for that shot. When you're on 6 going to 8, 8 million for that shot. So as you can see, you know, as you make your way up these rafts, they get, you know, the completion gives you more and more points. So obviously that's why it's an advantage to work your way up and complete all those rafts and actually do those shots. And then when you complete the last shot here on Wet Willie's, this is the thing that's interesting. It goes to 16, but then it goes to Wet Willie's. When you go from 16 to Wet Willie's, you actually get 20 million, not 18. So it's a little bit more of a bonus. So ultimately it just works its way up to 20 million to get to here. And of course, when you complete Wet Willie's and you start that mode, complete that mode, you're looking at another 100 million. So again, super, super lucrative points wise to work your way up those. Okay. Now, the other big part of this game is the Boulder Garden Awards over here. So there are 6 awards over here. First one here starts with Whirlpool Challenge. So Whirlpool Challenge, so essentially again, to start these really quickly, again, to start these, you have to, you know, make this lit shot right here, you know, down, and then get the ball back up here, and then make the red lit shot. So complete Insanity Falls, then complete Bigfoot Bluff. When this light is lit, this red light is lit, that's how you know you can get into the Whirlpool, and that will award you these. So Whirlpool Challenge is a 2-ball multi-ball. And so essentially all you have to do with this multi-ball is get the ball back in the Whirlpool. So generally what happens is when you get awarded the Whirlpool Challenge, you'll go back down to the plunger, you'll do a soft plunge, and then you'll hit it to the Whirlpool, and then it'll come down, go in, and then it kind of ejects you over here, and then you're gonna go back up and try to do it again. And so the goal of the Whirlpool multi-ball is, and it's hard to see here, but there are actually 6 lights around the Whirlpool. So basically, for every ball you get in, it starts at 5 million, and then it increases by 2 million with each one you get in. So the first ball you get in is 5. Next one is, I just want to again double check, make sure I'm giving you the right information here. Yep, 5, and then 7, and then 9, etc., all the way up. So it increases by 2 million. But when you actually complete it and you get 6 in here, you actually get another 20 million bonus on top of that. So again, if you can get, it's a 2-ball multi-ball, so if you can get that shot going and get the ball in here, 20 million to sink 6 of them. And then again, if you do another 6, it then increases to 40 million, and then 60 million, and it keeps going up all the way up to 100 million is what it maxes at. I can't imagine anyone doing that much and getting 100 million, but hey, if you're really, really good, you could. So, but the one thing I'll say though is, going back to the 2 million increase per ball, it does stop, I believe, or max out at the 6. So I'm trying to think of like what that would be. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. So I believe 15 is the max for a single ball on that. Because ultimately, after you complete it, then you get the other 20, you do it again, and I believe it'll just stay at the 15. But again, if you can do that, that's a whole ton of points. It's just really, really hard to do and keep that going with a 2-ball multi-ball and not sink. Okay, so next one, Man Overboard. Man Overboard is a hurry-up mode where basically one of the hazard lights, it starts at 20 million and starts counting down. The faster you hit that shot, the more points you get. So again, starting at 20 million, counts down. I believe it counts all the way down to like 3 million, and then you get some grace period. So if it takes you a really, really long time to hit the shot, I think you can still kind of get a minimum of 3 million for that. Next one is Light Extra Ball. Pretty straightforward. We talked about it. Light Extra Ball gets lit. You can try for it. You might drain. Dangerous. Next one here is Advanced Raft. So you can essentially what that does is, if you're on Raft 6, it'll push you to 8 to 10, whatever. That's pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, next one is the Mystic Canyon. Mystery Canyon, sorry. So this one here is a random award, and so it could be 5, 6, or 8 million points. It could light extra ball. It could give you special. It could give you, which I'm not sure. I think special is just a credit. Is kind of nothing. I've never seen that. It can instantly advance you to River Class 6, which would be really, really awesome. That's probably the rarest award. Or it can advance you 3 rafts. So again, if you're at 12, it can literally put you all the way up to Willie's, which is really, really cool. So that is also a good award. So again, that's Mystery Canyon. It's a random award. You'll see the animation on the screen, and the guy says, "This is your award." It's similar to, most of the other Williams tables that has the random award, like, Junkyard, or I think Adam's Family has it too. Anyway, and then the last one is the most important one, 5x playfield. Yes, it makes every shot on the playfield worth 5 times as much. This is a huge, huge, huge thing for scoring strategies. So we're going to talk about that more, but just, you can imagine if you can pair up that 5x with some other things on the playfield, super, super lucrative. That is the most important one, and that's the one that you want to kind of save and try to plan for as much as you can. One thing to kind of note is like right now, again, this one is lit and it starts here, and when you complete it, all it does is just go up by one. But if the ball comes in here and hits these bumpers, the bumpers will actually cycle this, which one is actually lit. So you want to keep an eye on that when you're hitting this red shot, because you want to make sure that you're, that you're activating a mode that you actually kind of want. You don't want to waste the 5X maybe early in the game. You want to try to hold on to that and plan it for when you've got your locks lit or something like that. So keep an eye on that as much as you can. Again, this is a really tough table, so planning your shots is, not exactly the easiest fucking thing in the world, but, you just gotta, try to do your best with it. Okay, so moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is multi-balls. So the multi-ball mode is right up here. As we talked about, what you want to do is you want to hit these shots, activate the locks, and then shoot the ball up here. It locks the ball, sends it back down to plunger, and then the thing that's actually really great is it sends you back here to plunge, and then you can do your soft plunge and try to hit these again. So it's really nice, shot to make, because it's very safe in terms of like setting you up for your next crossing shot. But when you lock 3 balls, it starts this 3-ball multi-ball. So what you want to do with this 3-ball multi-ball then is hit this shot here, the Insanity Falls shot, okay? This is your jackpot. Super, super lucrative shot, and definitely something that you want to practice and learn how to hit that shot consistently. Okay, so that Insanity Falls jackpot, just to give you an idea, it is a base value of 10 million points plus another million points times your current raft number. So think about that, 10 million points. Let's say if you're on raft 6 down here, you're still early in the game. That is a 16 million point shot just to hit that jackpot, okay? And that's just with the first ball. So obviously it's a great way to accumulate points in the jackpot, is consistently being able to hit that shot. Okay, the other important thing to note is this is a 3-ball multi-ball, okay? When you start the multi-ball, the balls will eject from up here. You don't plunge. They actually will come out from here. And they come out one at a time, nice and soft and slow for you, okay? So ball 1 will come out, and you want to hit that shot, that crossing shot, right? That gets you the 1x jackpot. Then ball 2 comes out. Then you can hit the next one. That gives you double jackpot. Then the third one comes out. If you can hit that one, that's triple jackpot, right? If you can do all 3 of those balls, right, and somehow manage to save them down here, which I'll talk about in a second, if you hit, let's say, for example, all 3 and you get triple jackpot, then every subsequent jackpot you get will be that triple jackpot. So I think I put here, let me quickly look at my numbers. Sorry, I have notes for this one here. I did my homework, so don't say I don't work hard for this community, you motherfuckers. So if you initially shoot all 3 down here, right? And let's say, using the same example, that it was, a 16 million, single jackpot. Well, the second ball would be 32 million. And the third ball would be 48 million. So if you get all 3 of those, that's 96 million points just there, right? And then if you are able to salvage it and make another shot, get it up this ramp down here and make the shot again, every subsequent shot is actually going to be that 48 million triple jackpot. As you can see, if you get really good at that multi-ball and can save it, that can be a lot of points. Now, one of the things that was kind of discussed a lot in terms of strategy, and I kind of agree with it, is, as you're waiting for these balls to come down and you're shooting them across, remember, you're shooting ball 1, it's going down this ramp, and it's coming down here, with some speed while you're waiting for ball 2. So a lot of people, their strategy is just forget about the ball. After you hit the shot, forget about ball 1, potentially forget about ball 2. Just worry about making that cross shot, because the chances of you being able to get during a multi-ball the ball back up here is pretty low. So it's best to just focus on the 3 balls coming down, make your shot, let the other ones that come down here drain. If you're lucky enough to save ball 2 somehow, and you're able to, save ball 3, and you can kind of keep the 2 balls going, then you have an opportunity to go for the additional ones. But recommended strategy is just when the balls are coming down here, fuck it, leave them alone, focus on the balls that are coming out, and make those 3 shots, because you're looking at, again, depending on where you are in terms of your rafts, I mean, you're looking at upwards of, 100 to potentially as much as like 200 million points just to get that triple. It could be worth it. I'm sorry. I don't know if it'll be as high as 200. You're probably looking at more like some in that 150 to 175 million range, but it doesn't really matter. It's still a lot of fucking points is my point. Okay. So we talked about that multi-ball and how lucrative it can be, right? And this second, the double and triple jackpots. Well, going back to what I was just mentioning about the 5x playfield, you can actually stack the 5x and the multi-ball to get 5x multi-ball jackpot. It is fucking amazing if you do it. I haven't been able to do it on Pinball FX. I play this game on Zen Pinball World on my iPad, where the latency is like basically 0 and it's a little easier to make your shots. I'm here to tell you, my high score right now, you can look it up, Dennis B25, 650 million right now, and it's not even anywhere near the top. I know I can do a lot better, but my high score is 650 million. Half of that was with 2 shots. 2. I'm using the number 2 here with my hand. Just hitting this 5x twice. Unbelievable. 300 million points for 2 fucking shots. So this is why I was saying, if you can actually plan it so that you lock 2 balls here, okay, and you set it up to get the 5x, right? You sink the whirlpool shot, you start the 5x, the ball gets, I believe when you sink the 5x, the ball is going to get ejected here. But essentially, after you sink the 5x, you then quickly, as quick as you can, because 5x is limited, it's only like 25 seconds, you quickly unlock the multi-ball here, get your 3rd lock, make this shot. Again, the balls are just going to feed down here, nice and smooth, and it's gravy, man. It's fucking points of Palooza. And again, you can get, the 2nd and 3rd shots. Now, the one thing that I'm not 100% clear on, and there's like conflicting reports and information I saw online, is you definitely get the 5x for the first one, okay? There is question of whether you actually get 5x double jackpot and 5x triple jackpot. So if anyone manages to pull it off in the comments, let me know. I'd be curious to know, because think about that. It's a 2x jackpot. That would be then multiplied by 5, and then a triple jackpot multiplied by 5. That would be absolutely insane. From what I understand, in the real life pinball machine, some machines do it, some machines don't. It depends on what ROM you have. But I don't know what Pinball FX does, but that would be fucking crazy if you could do that. So anyway, like I said, plan that 5x with the multi-ball. Huge points. Definitely something that you want to do. Other scoring strategies. So again, talked about planning the 5x multiplier. Now, if you can't plan it or can't get the 5x with the ball lock, something else that you can do is try to plan it for when you're advancing your rafts. So again, if you plan it right and you're advancing from, raft 12 to 14, right? And that's that's going to be a $14 million shot if you've got it down to just one more, right? So 14 million points times 5x, like that could be absolutely huge. So again, if you can plan that 5x where you're kind of, all right, I've only got one more shot to make to advance, now I'll hit my, my whirlpool shot and then hit that. So anytime that you can kind of, plan the 5X around something that you've got set up on the field, like the multi-ball, like advancing the rafts, definitely try to do that as much as you can. Other stuff, again, yeah, just don't forget about advancing the rafts, man. It's these, these shots here add up. As I just mentioned, you're getting into super points. 4 million, 8 million, 6 million, 10, 12, 14, 16. It really adds up. The other thing that's important too is when you get to Wet Willies and you get that final 20 million, and then whether you complete it or don't complete it, and you start down at 2, well, those values actually stay, and this counts as like, this Wet Willies counts as raft 20, and then you start over again with another 2 to 4 million. So that becomes 24 million, 26 million, 28 million, and it goes all the way up again. So again, if you can, go through this multiple times, shitload of points. Definitely worth it. Advance your river class. Again, river class. So the river class, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this also determines your end of ball bonus, and also determines how many points you get for each of these orange hazard shots. So for the orange hazard shots, it's actually 500,000 points times whatever river class you are. So if you're river class 6, every single one of these orange arrows that you hit, it's 3 million points. And so that, again, can be lucrative. So don't forget about advancing the river shots. So one of the things that I would say, and of course, it also increases your multiplier at your end of ball bonus too. And I'm not going to bother going through the formula for that with you, but it's just, trust me, it's way more points if you up your river class, because essentially it multiplies whatever your bonus adds up to, multiply it by whatever your river class is. So times 2, times 3, times 4, all the way up to times 6. And it adds up really fast. So advance that river class. And one of the probably the best or easiest ways to do it is, again, keep an eye on these in lanes and get that light over there when the ball is coming down there, whether it's, rolling up from this shot or whether you're getting them down a ramp. Get that. That's the easiest, safest way to do it, because trying to hit this shot is just, it's dangerous, man. The ball starts bouncing everywhere. You're best trying to just control it with your ramp shots, and then when the ball's coming down the ramp, just be Johnny on the spot, move that light. It'll be worth it, trust me. Okay, let's see other things. This spine chiller shot. Learn to perfect this shot, okay? This is a very important shot in the game, because this is what feeds the upper flipper so you can get your crossing shot. But also, when you roll the ball down through here and you make that shot, it actually activates this multi-millions mode, okay? And so basically, when the multi-millions mode is active, you hit this lane and you get, starts at 2 million, then goes 3, 4, up to 5 million for every time you hit this lane. So in theory, if you're good at kind of doing a rhythmed loop, you can hit this shot, don't flip, don't use this right flipper, don't try to cross shot, just let it come up, it comes right back down, shoot it up again, comes right back down, shoot it up again, comes right down. If you can loop that, that's 2, 3, 4, 5 million, and then 5 million again, and 5 million, you know what I mean? So if you can do that, that's a lot. Not the easiest thing to do, but it might be worth it if you're just someone who is good at rhythm shots and hitting those ramps. You can just do that over and over again. Just don't, fuck that flipper. Don't do it. Just let it go. Let it come right back down. Feeds you right back on your flipper again and right back up. So the points can add up quick if you can master that shot. Even if you don't want to do that, just master getting up there, and then master the timing of how fast it comes for your crossing shot. And of course, there's 2 different timings that you need to figure out. What is the timing to hit this ramp, and what is the timing to hit that ramp? Definitely worth learning, and certainly when you start off the game, you want to, try to stick with this insanity shot. you know, don't go right for the Bigfoot, right? So this is the front door, this is the back door. Everyone knows, you don't go for the back door right away. You gotta lube it up first. You gotta get the juices flowing first with the, you know, whitewater ramps here before you then, you know, attempt entry in the back door. So yeah, get your minds out of the gutter. I'm talking about whitewater rafting. Anyway, let's see. Other things of note, the skill shot. So the skill shot, again, is Insanity Falls. So what you want to do is a soft plunge, get the ball up this little ramp here, and it'll come up here, and then it'll slowly come back down, and then you want to hit your crossing shot. So boom, figure out, you know, the power that you need consistently. It's really not a hard, you know, soft plunge to make. The one thing I'll be aware of, don't ever do a full plunge, man. That's my one piece of advice, man. You do a full plunge, the fucker comes flying around here at 100 miles an hour, and you can't do anything with it, right? You're gonna be fighting it off, and it's gonna be going everywhere. So whenever possible, just don't do a full plunge. It's just not worth it. Even like, you know, a lot of times, you know, you're trying to dead flip it, and the dead flip hits the bottom of the slingshot and goes right out, or it comes around here, and even though it just glances this slingshot, it activates the slingshot and shoots it, you know, either at your flipper or straight down. It's really, really a pain in the ass. I don't understand how they programmed a full plunge to be that crazy, but it is. So my advice, don't ever do a full plunge. Partial plunge, bring it down here. If you miss the crossing shot, it's no big deal. The ball's just gonna come right back down and feed to this flipper. Much safer. Let's see. Oh, and I talked about this before, the ball eject. Be careful on that. When the game, you know, test everything out. Test what the dead flip looks like. Test what the capture looks like. Test what, you know, timing of hitting it, trying to hit it, you know, back up a ramp. Who knows how the 4KP is going to, you know, react in terms of its physics, but just be mindful of that and just be on top of it. When you sink that whirlpool, you know, there's really not a lot of like warning. You kind of, you know, if your mind wanders, you're screwed. And then, I think this is something I already mentioned. Work on the timing of this shot to the cross shot. You're going to be doing this a lot. So up here, it comes through fast, and then you got to be quick to get it across here. So definitely work on that timing as much as possible. Get good at it. So that's all I have. So I'm going to kind of keep this as part one. Maybe I'll do like just a little bit of play on this one here, but I think when the game actually launches on the 4KP, I'll release a part two, actually showing some of the gameplay and how I kind of do things. And I can, you know, kind of prove that, hey, maybe I can do some of all this bullshit that I'm actually telling you to do. So, again, you know, thanks for watching. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to do a little bit of play, and then I'll end the video. But if you like what you see, you're enjoying these foul mouth tutorials, please please subscribe. Put in the comments, did I miss anything? Am I full of shit? Tell me to go fuck myself. Whatever. Just let me know what you like and don't like in the comments. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. And take care. I'm going to turn up some volume here and let's play a little bit. And I just did what I said not to do. I just accidentally did full plunge here. Missed it. Got it. There you go. There is that. And this camera angle is screwing me up here on the zoom in. Oh. And there you go. Fucking asshole laughing at you. This is why I turn off the added effects, because you don't want to watch that son of a bitch laughing at you. Oh, suck. Yeah, fuck you, asshole. You look like your sister's unkempt vag. Sorry, was that mean? Okay. So this is, again, I'm not focused here. This is just absolutely horrible play. I'm gonna turn off the visual extras and I'm gonna start a new game. So, complete garbage. This is probably gonna get cut. Let's try one more game here. All right, so let's try to do it again. Soft plunge here, crossing shot there, boom, beautiful. That's exactly how you want to do it. And then you got that bone chiller shot. So right now, what I'm looking for is like my, right there, my orange random hazard shot is actually up there, which kind of sucks. That's one of the harder ones to make, but it's also my lit whirlpool light. So what I want to try to do is, because my lock isn't lit, I can either go for the lock shot or the ramp here, and I'm probably going to miss both of them. So let's give it a shot here. Got it, and I was too late. This is what you have. What I was mentioning. You got to get that timing down, and this is hard for me. I'm playing Pinball FX on OTG with a little bit of lag, and it's really fucking hard. And so there's the ball lock. So now the great thing is I did the ball lock, so now I'm gonna be able to do a soft plunge here and see if I can make that shot. Got it! Into the whirlpool. And now it starts the whirlpool 2-ball multi-ball. So the 2-ball multi-ball, I want to do the same thing. I want to get it into the whirlpool here. So soft plunge, come back. Missed it, but I did get my orange hazard shot. And then there's the second ball coming out of that. Oh my God, see, two things I want to point out there. Wasn't paying attention, ball firing out of this fucking hole over here, and I wasn't paying attention, and it just literally hit and went right out. And then I didn't make the ball all the way up of the disaster drop. And this is what I was saying before. You don't make it up, it's coming right back down the middle, you're fucked. So just did it, both things in one swoop. Both, too hard on the plunge. Let's see if I can make that. Oh, I didn't get all the way up there. Now I activated the multi-millions, but I'm on the wrong flipper here. Oh, terrible. And that's, again, another thing I should probably point out. You don't want to go directly for those lock spot targets. Same reason. Coming right back down the middle at you. It really sucks. Got that cross shot. Hit the wrong shot, unfortunately. Oh, and there you go. And this is another thing I probably should have mentioned. When the ball comes down that orbit, you very rarely can let the dead flip. I just out of habit try to let the dead flip happen. The dead flip hits the flipper, hits the bottom of the slingshot, and goes right out. Sucks. So there's a lot of kind of nuances that we're gonna have to kind of learn when the 4KP version comes out on how the ball physics react, and that's gonna adjust, kind of how you dead flip, how you catch, what you can do, what you can't do in terms of when you soft plunge. So we'll know more in the next 24 hours. So until then, thank you again for watching, and have a good one, everybody. Goonie goo goo. Your wife's a Bigfoot, isn't she, Gus?